Hello, Internet. I got tasked with the task of explaining my artwork because I'm an artist. This is my little I love you, Earth loves you vibe. So I'm just gonna go down the line and do this thing. All right. First up, we have this here tree woman. I started making these really cool nature-inspired women because I love nature. And I think that nature is the foundation for everything. And also, my name is Ashley, which means meadow of ash trees. So I think I've just always admired and connected to trees. Specifically, they're all so different and expressive and really limitless in how they form and how they grow. And sometimes I see women dancing in the trees, or hands coming out of the earth, or all kinds of things in trees. And yeah, I just really love, I also love painting faces. Faces are really fun for me to paint, which you'll see in some other painting works that I have. But yeah, what else can I say? I really like to work with just colors and layers. And this, I don't know how long this took me, but it definitely took me a little bit of experimenting. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's like thicker layers that I had to mess with, because at one point you can kind of see it, but there was a line, because this is just, you can see it from the back. But I was like, how do I get rid of this obnoxious line, because it's gonna bother me if I don't try to work with it somehow. And so I just added some texture on the face and around it to give it a bit more of a tree-like texture, and even on the leaves and such, because I really like 3D artwork, which again, more to show you. But yeah, I really like things with texture, and that things that come off of the canvas, if I'm going to use canvas in my artwork. I make lots of different things. I make jewelry. I make all kinds of stuff. So anything that can give a sort of three-dimensional element to it, I like. You know, this is it up close. I also really like working with, like, you know, chakras and stuff. Blue for the sky. I wanted to add red flowers to kind of give that, like, root element to it, you know, because sometimes we get too up here, not enough down there. Sometimes it's the opposite. But regardless, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I also like to work with numbers. I just want to make sure I did that before I said it. But there's 22 flowers on here. I just like working with sacred numbers. If I didn't do 22, I probably would have done like 33 or 44 or etc., etc. But yeah, I like using specific numbers in my artwork when it comes to like adding embellishments, because words and numbers are very powerful. I think everything's coded. Yeah, this is my tree lady. She's cool. Next up, I have this one. which also Earth Lady vibes. And also, if you're gonna see, I like doing third-eyed women. I don't know. I think it's because I have a vein when I smile that looks like a third eye, so it's kind of, maybe it's a play on that. They say, oh, is it a self-portrait? Maybe. It may be. May very well be. In my multiple lives, but this one's a little bit, oh dear. Okay. This one's a little bit smaller, but, and it's actually on a postcard. I have a few postcard artworks, but yeah, I like working small. I don't know, for me it's nice, but yeah, again, it's like the same sort of elements as this one, where it's like, I like adding the blues and greens, like the throat and the heart, but then I also added, like, the oranges and the yellows. I try, if I can get all the chakras in there, I will, because who doesn't love rainbows? I know they symbolize different things to different people, but I feel like when people see them, like actual rainbows in nature, it's just like such a confirmation and phenomenon of like, thank you, God. The earth just like does that with like water and light. Light refracting off water. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, and, she's crying, but she's also kind of, like, breathing into the ocean, or wherever this is, I don't actually know, and, yeah, I like the idea, for some reason, of, like, trees and stuff being hair, because, like, I feel like the leaves on trees is the tree's hair. You know what I mean? Like, the roots are probably, like, its insides. And then, like, the branches are probably, well, it's skin, bark, And then the leaves would be the hair, I think. I don't know. But that's just the way my mind does it. But anyway, yeah, and I kind of wanted to go for, like, a waterfall theme because I love waterfalls. And, yeah, for me, it's kind of like it's reminding me of being connected to nature always, and like seeing the similarities between humans and nature, because we often forget that we're a part of nature. I also discovered that human beings are the only animals that cry emotional tears, which is insane to me. Like, blows my mind. So, like, crying is a superpower that only humans have, which is, it's like, what? Like, I thought at least monkeys would do that. Like, I know other animals feel sadness, but we're the only ones that cry from sadness? Crazy. Anyway, yeah, so I like depictions of tears because it's a superpower, and I be crying a lot, but, I don't think there's any shame in that, at all, personally, but yeah, she's just all peaceful and happy, breathing in the ocean, and, yeah, I kind of like making, artwork that's, I don't know, more joyous, more peaceful, more serene, women being in peace. I feel like there's so much war depicted art and tragedy and all this like art that's just like crazy and chaotic, and I'm not saying that that's not valid, because it is, but I just, if life imitates art, this is what I want life to imitate for me. Personally. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next one. Another tree lady. Another tree lady looking pretty peaceful, looking pretty like up at the sky, up at um, creator or whatever. I was originally gonna have just the center be the sun, but then I was like, nah, let me give her some pupils, and so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But art. I realize art doesn't have to make sense, so I really like this one actually. Like in terms of like playing with like different head positions. I'm still working that out, you know what I mean? Like how to do that. Um but yeah, she's one of my favorites. I also really like the frame that she's in. So that's a bonus. This is also done on a postcard. So yeah, I like bought these watercolor postcards and just went to town with watercolor. Um and a mix of like acrylic and other mediums, because I like mixed media, just everything in general. But yeah, she's looking peaceful. She's looking serene, happy. We want that for the future. At least I do. So that's what I tried to emulate. A lot of people will be like, "Ugh, it's not real. It's not edgy enough," and I'm like, I've lived a pretty edgy life and I'm tired, so I just want softness now. I just want softness depicted in the artwork that I want to lay the foundation for my future. And if some people hopefully will be cool and be like, yeah, this is totally cool. But if not, if I'm the only one, that's okay too. So it's alright. It's okay. But we gotta do what we gotta do. So, yeah. I like playing with, light and color and, yeah, just layers. I also really like depicting brown women, because there's not a lot of art of that from what I see. And especially like happy and chill and just peaceful and connected to nature, at least from what I see. I don't know, there may be other artists doing this exact thing and like infinitely better, but this is what I got. So this is what I'm bringing to the table. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I think she's cool. That's it. I'm sorry. That's all I got for her. She's just beautiful and happy and sunny and vibing, and that's all I want for everyone. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with the next one because I don't know what else to say for that one. This one, I also don't know what else to say. So, this is not a tree woman. If you can see clearly, she's kind of a sexy woman. With like a little crown and I think horns. I think it's, actually no, I think it is just a crown. Yeah, it's like a lotus crown. And I don't actually have my purple light, but if you put it under a black light, these colors like pop, and this is the only one that's like this. Also on a is it on, I don't actually, it actually might not be on a postcard. Yeah, it actually might not be on a postcard, but it's okay. So essentially what I did for this one, and the reason she's different, is I did the background first. And I like doing these like abstract, weird, just like finger painty backgrounds. And then I'll like look for the image in the thing that I want to bring out, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I did for this one. I wanted to like make a really fun, abstract, weird thing and then bring what I saw out of it once it kind of came to fruition. I also used some hot glue in there, if you can tell. I'm trying not to reflect like the background noise, but yeah, I like used some hot glue. Again, I like things with texture, and she's got her like little boobies out, which is cool. You know, it's kind of my first dabble into like not as wholesome, but also not naturey really, but kind of, I don't know. Yeah, she was just something I wanted to, I don't know. This is what came through to me on that specific day, you know. And I've always been able to see things in other things, like in patterns, or especially like wood grain. Like I could like sometimes faces will come to me through wood grain, and I don't know if that means I'm like schizophrenic or if it just means I can see other dimensions. I don't know. You know, I don't. I'm not trying to make sense of it. It's just what I just look at it as a superpower, because if I look at it as I'm crazy, then I'm gonna have a hard time, you know. And I would much rather just be like, oh, that's a cool thing that happens sometimes. Yeah. And again, I wanted to even when I do this stuff, I like playing with like different colors. So like there's like purples and reds and greens and golds. Gold is my favorite color, so there will be a lot of gold elements in the things that I like to paint. Yeah. And I'm sure it's, you know, deeper if people can, you know, people feel free to comment your own interpretation if there's anybody who watches these videos. I don't know. Welcome to the freak show, where I'm learning how to be vulnerable and share myself in a way that's less unhinged, but still kind of unhinged, because anyway. Yeah, she's cool, she's pretty, she's vibing. Yes. Okay. So those are my paintings. And, you know, I used to have more, but then they're gone now. I just, you know, life. But, now I have some felting stuff, which is fun and cute and wholesome. Ta-da! Here's a little felted mushroom house that makes me very happy and makes me think of a home. The only home I can afford right now. I'm kidding. I'm not. Actually, I'm not. But, you know, it just makes me happy, and the whimsical vibes. We love, again, elements of nature. We love suns. We love moons. We love, even though there's no sun in this, we love clouds. And we love mushrooms, you know, and we love the symbology of a little mushroom house that's just cute and wholesome and fills me with joy. And felting is a new hobby that I took up. My grandmother got me into it because she had all of these supplies and she loved making little gnomes, and she ended up giving me a bunch of supplies because she stopped making the gnomes. My grandmother is a really cool human who has supported me in my creative endeavors my entire life, even when she's been, you know, a little harsh and like, no, you should do it like this, you know. That's her way of helping me improve, so that's cool. But yeah, she's just been a highly influential person in every creative avenue that I've ever even tried, be it jewelry, painting, felting, and she's always just giving me stuff that is like, you know, these frames I did buy because I had all of these essentially like flat pieces of felt, and I was like, how can I do artwork with felt that's like you can hang and stuff? And I thought this was a really good idea. It's just an embroidery hoop, which, but I like it because again, it's got like, it's made of plastic, but it's got like, it looks like wood and it looks a bit more like a legit frame than like the standard embroidery hoops. So yeah, I chose this little style. Plus, I also really like working in circles. Um, yeah, you know, like I like standard like canvases and they look really clean, but I also just yeah, I like working in circles and I think it's pretty fun and interesting to explore and experiment with different shapes. You know, anything that's like standardized, I'm like, mm, let's try something else. But yeah, that's my little mushroom house and the little clouds. There's 3 clouds because 3 is my favorite number. And this is a little smoke cloud, you can tell because it's slightly more gray. And this is one of my like second or third experiments with felting, I think. I have some other ones, but I've also given a few away, so yeah. But yeah, it's my little mushroom house that I think is really nice and quaint and happy. This one is a felted valley, and I mean, I would say it's like Iao Valley that is in Maui, but probably not accurate, you know. But whenever I think of valleys, I think of Iao Valley. And also, like before I did these, it kind of looked like a woman's legs and like water coming out, so that was a thing. But yeah, but we love little sunbeams and clouds and rivers and valleys and more nature everywhere, honestly. Like I am so excited for the day that nature reclaims the earth as it should, because we forget about nature and it's so sad. Like concrete is so sad to me. Like this is the real juice, you know. And it's made of wool, which is a natural material, and I like it because it's not toxic, you know. Paint, acrylic paint, all that stuff. I like acrylic. I mean, again, I love watercolors. I love traditional forms of media, but this is also cool because there's no like gnarly chemicals involved, which most of the time gnarly chemicals are involved in painting. I used to work with a lot of resin, and I stopped working with resin. Just yeah, yeah. But yeah, I wanted to just make this little valley one day. I was missing Eow, and I probably could add more details, but sometimes less is more. You know, I'm learning that less is more. This is my little snail guy, and the theme this spring has been snails. Like just going slow, and I wanted to do white mushrooms because I think white mushrooms are cool. Like when you see them, you're just like, oh, because they stand out. Especially in like a green forest, green and brown forest. But yeah, and you can't see what this says because it's backwards, but it essentially says love slow, with a little snail guy, because I think we live in a very fast-paced culture, and people are very much immediate gratification kind of thing. And we think that moving fast is like normal because that's how we operate with everything, you know, fast money, fast cars, fast this, especially if you live in the city, which I live in a city currently. Um, so yeah, this is just my reminder to go slow and love slow because all good things take time. And I know that's a cheesy saying, but those stand the test of time for a reason because they're true, you know? And yeah, so that was my little ode to loving slow, going slow. Again, 3 mushrooms, 3 is my favorite number. Also 3 flowers, 3 is my favorite number. It's just one of those things. And I don't know, I guess a fun fact is I'm born October 3rd, 1993. So 3 is my favorite number. Cool things come in 3s. I think you can do a lot with, like, you know, a group of 3 is always a fun time. Yeah, you know, when you're like going out having fun. 2 is cool too. You know, whatever. But I just like 3. And I like nature. And I like snails. Alright, next one. My friend may be mad that these are not 5 minutes each, but I'm trying here. This one I really like. So it's one of my faves. I really like flower bouquets, and again, I like color. I like working with colors. So even though the background is gray, and like a lot of these do have like a dark gray background, I just go over it with different felt. Yeah. But this one I wanted to keep because I'm like, oh, this would be cool in someone's house or like my house or whatever. And there's just something about flower bouquets and like playing with different shapes, and like these are supposed to be baby's breath, and I don't know what flowers these are supposed to be, but I just picked colors that I was really digging at the time. I also made it during, I think I made it near last autumn, like fall time. So that was the colors I was working with. I was like, you know what, it's feeling fall vibes, so that's why I chose these colors. But yeah, I just think it's really nice and pretty, and I liked experimenting with the different shapes and textures and how to get certain things a certain way. The first one I made was really nice, but I gave it to, it's like on this similar vibe, but it had lavender and like specific flowers. But that one I gave to my childhood best friend for Christmas. So that won't be shown. But yeah, I just like flowers and bouquets and nature, and everything is really nature inspired because nature is my biggest inspiration. You can draw so much inspiration from nature in everything that we do. And again, living in the city, you're kind of like removed from it. So any little way that I can remind myself that, oh yeah, this is where we come from and this is where we're going, that's my jam. My jam. Yeah. Okay. Last one. And one of my favorites that I recently made. Also, gray background, but no gray in the middle. So, this is my little snake friend. I did not know this was going to be a little snake friend until I started. I'm a utilitarian at heart, you know? So, like, essentially what I did is I looked at all my felt. I saw what felts I had the least of, and I wanted them gone. I was like, I'm just gonna use all the felt that I don't have that much of, because then it'll be gone, and then I'll have all this other felt that I can use. And so that's what I did. I started poking all these things around first, like these little doodads, and then I saw this bright blue, and then I made like a weird little squiggle, and then I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a snake. Aw. And so I made him into a snake, and he's got these goofy little eyes and a little cute tongue, because that's how they sense things in the wild. And yeah, he's kind of like a little garden snake. And I added, once I did the snake, I went over in layers. I did the eyeballs, and then I did another layer. So he's nice and plump and thick. And I don't know, like petting him is kind of nice. I don't know. Like I said, I like art with texture, and this is like very texturized, so I dig it. And then I added this little green rim, because I think it's cool. Again, I wanted to add more color, because without the green, it was very bland. But then I was like, ooh, pop a bright green, a pop a bright blue. That sounds like a good idea. And so that's what I did. And I don't actually know what the background's supposed to be. Like, if the snake is in, like, because, like, this is blue and watery, but then there's also green. So, like, I don't know if it's water or earth or what, but it's just, those were the colors that I chose. Oh, and also this is a little heart, because I also like hearts. So, yeah, this is my little snake guy. And I think he's pretty cool. And yeah, this is all my art that I have right now. There's still some that I'm working on, and will be finished at some point. But as of right now, that's what I got. So, thanks for looking. Thanks for this. Thanks. Yeah.